I got crumbs in the crack. Oh no! Now can I eat this piece of cupcake?
Yes, eat that piece of cupcake.
Yes.
But tell me about pandemic wedding planning.
Overall, I feel like the details are fun, but mostly the like stress comes from like planning things but wondering, is there any point in planning something because like will you have to change it last minute? That type of thing. A lot of people have been rescheduling their weddings, obviously, postponing. So we are not going to do that because obviously we want to get married. I feel like we should go to the cupcakes. They're so yummy.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess I'll clean up this night. What flavor would you like to try next?
You get to pick because I picked coconut last time.
Oh. I thought we should do something totally different. You do carrot.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to eat all of like a half of each of these cupcakes until I took a bite of it, and then I was like, actually I could eat all of these cupcakes
By myself.
all at one time. Oh no, it's muffin.
Oh my gosh.
No, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I should say, what's your favorite thing about attending a Catholic wedding ceremony with mass as opposed to just attending like, you know, regular like 20-minute wedding ceremony or whatever?
Well, besides the fact that it's a sacrament, it's two sacraments because it's a mass, so you have the Eucharist, and then you have the sacrament of marriage. I like how the vows in a Catholic wedding are always the same. Like you don't rewrite them, and they're always the same because it's not just about you two, it's about you two and God. And so you're like, the whole for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, all of that stuff seems so much more substantial when it is said in front of the Eucharist, in front of a priest, as opposed to just like on a beach somewhere and you wrote it. You know, it seems like it's much, I mean, marriage is a covenant, and it is very visualized as a covenant when you are at a Catholic wedding.
That's very reflective of the whole, like, the sacrament of marriage is conferred upon you by yourself and God. You and your, like, spouse, future spouse.
Yeah, it's so cool that it's you guys and not the priest.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the vows are kind of, well, obviously a big part of that, but especially saying like, you know, you can't just write your vows. It's because it's not just between the two of you.
Yeah.
I think it's also Christ as well, which I think is pretty cool.
Non-Catholic weddings are like 10 minutes.
Not to diminish like other non-Catholic weddings.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a big moment in other people's
Really
lives.
beautiful too.
Still really awesome.
And the vows are still like, people don't make those vows just saying they're gonna like give them up tomorrow. You know, they're still like pledging till death do us part. But
yeah, I feel like there's just a specific beauty in Catholic weddings that you don't find anywhere else. Okay, I'm gonna do red velvet because I don't always like red velvet and I don't want that to be the last one we eat. You know, you have to like end on a good note. Anything that is this unnatural red color cannot be but so delicious, you know.
it just dyed chocolate cake.
I know.
Okay.
But it's so red. Red, red, red. Somebody poured Hawaiian punch into a cupcake thing and was like, I will ice this now.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be good.
We'll see. It's too big. I'm gonna do the cupcake so much. Actually, not. It doesn't really taste like anything.
Okay, so tell me about pre-Cana. What is that? How is that going? I never quite understood. Why is it called pre-Cana? Because the wedding feast at Cana?
I don't know actually. That's a good question. I always thought it was because Cana's like the promised land. So I was like, oh, we're going to the promised land.
It makes me think of the VeggieTales song.
We're going to the promised land.
In the promised land, it's gonna be so good.
I actually know that part. So pre-Cana is marriage prep, and basically you prepare for, the idea is you're preparing for your marriage, not for your wedding. We have to meet with the priest, it's like 4 to 6 times before you get married. You have to do this thing called the focus. It's not really a test, but there are questions, and basically they just ask you a series of questions. You have to mark either agree or disagree, and it's things like, I would be able to accept if we could not have children. And then you would mark agree, disagree or uncertain. And then some are like not quite as exciting, like I would be upset if we could not have pets, kind of a thing. So it's kind of to gauge like where you are in your relationship, see like how much you guys have really talked about things.
And like related it to your Catholic faith too.
Yeah, so there are other like Catholic questions too. Some of them are kind of tricky to understand. So then the priest goes through on a couple meetings, they'll like go through the answers that you guys didn't match up on.
Yeah.
And then like just talk about it a little bit. So there's that you have to do. There's actually weirdly a lot of paperwork. So your parents
sounds like marriage prep is and well, any vocation is a lot of paperwork.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to provide like baptism certificates, confirmation certificates. You have to nag churches you got confirmed at to send your confirmation certificate.
I'm guessing that that happened. I think it's time for another cupcake.
Yes,
which
I think so too. I'm glad we're just eating a quarter of these. Actually, I could eat all of these cupcakes
by myself
all at one time.
That was very lemon. Wow. It's almost like lemon curd. It's so powerful right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, you said prayer life. Has your prayer life changed at all since getting...
Oh, hold on. It's fine. This is really good. Something we do now that we didn't do when we were just dating is we go to adoration together.
Ooh, nice.
We don't actually sit together because all the chairs are 6 feet apart. It's fine.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do your and John's like prayer habits differ immensely?
Not too much. I guess in like the way that we pray does, because I've talked before about how I like to write during prayer, and I don't think John does that at all.
Tell me about pre-Cana, Cameron.
Well, let me tell you. Oh, that's a microphone. I thought you were doing a fist bump. You have an engaged encounter, which is a retreat, and then
Are you going together?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then also you have to do NFP classes.
NFP!
The retreat is probably normally in person, but we did it on Zoom because hashtag coronavirus.
Coronavirus. Okay, so besides cake tasting and wedding cake, tell me about other wedding traditions you guys are doing.
I don't even know what this is called, but when you like put flowers like in front of the statue of Mary. During the wedding reception, we are not going to do the like garter toss thing because we think it's weird.
Also, you have to get a garter for that.
And wear it. Yeah, so we're not going to do that. We're going to do the like foot washing thing, which is, I feel like a more Catholic thing.
I've never been at a wedding where that's happened.
Me either. But basically, the bride and groom just like wash each other's feet, and it's just a sign that, you know, marriage is to serve the other person. Do not serve yourself. We are not doing the first look. I don't think we're gonna see each other like before the wedding the day of. Not based on superstition, but just because I think it'll be more like exciting and like a fun surprise when, you know, when
John
you
gets to see you walking down the aisle, and you get to see him standing there. But you're doing, for your veil, you're doing the thingy in the front, right?
Oh yes, a blusher.
I feel that's super old school.
I think it is. I was told by the lady that helped at the like wedding dress shop place. I told her that I wanted a veil with a blusher, and she told me that nobody wants that anymore because it's so old school and it just shows that you're the property of the man, but she guessed she could find one for me.
Was that what it means? You're the property of the man?
Apparently that was like back then. Okay, we only have one cupcake left, and I'm so full of cupcake and icing. I could eat all of these cupcakes.
Wow. What has been the worst part about COVID, besides the pandemic, about wedding planning and preparing for marriage?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think of a nice one.
You can do a not nice one.
I feel like the worst is definitely COVID. I don't even know if I can eat this last piece of cupcake. Okay, it's fine. I can do this. I was born to do this. But Mark would approve me. one of the letdowns of preparing for marriage, even though I just said so many things about pre-Cana might be pre-Cana. If you do marriage prep with a priest that you know really well and who knows you, I think it would be more beneficial just because they know like where you are in life. We just start doing it with a priest from the parish that we're getting married in. And I feel like if somebody knows you better, then it's easier to meet you where you are in your spiritual journey instead of just kind of assuming you know nothing. I feel like for us, we have not like learned anything beyond what we already knew about marriage.
Like been challenged or anything?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's been like a good refresher, a good reminder, but it hasn't been anything like super new and exciting. And I don't know if there's a way to really improve upon that. I feel like that's been maybe more of a letdown just because we haven't been able to learn as much from that, just from that experience. But I feel like that's also good because you can't just sit and wait for knowledge to be handed to you. You also have to go seek it out yourself.
The best part of marriage prep
is like the anticipation of marriage. It's good because obviously it's really exciting to anticipate it. It's something you're really looking forward to, and it's something that you're looking forward to with somebody else. But then also it's hard just because you want it now, but you have to like wait. Even though it's hard, it's still like a joyful experience to be able to look forward and like imagine what it'll be like. Yeah, I don't quite know how to describe it.
When you enter into marriage, then you're entering into your vocations together. You know, like it's not like I figure mine out, husband, you gotta figure it out now too. But you're like entering into that like your big V vocation, right? Like when you're engaged, you get a piece of that, like you are going through a lot together. Like it's funny because I'll always say, well, I know it's gonna get hard, and John will say, it's hard now. Like, it's not like, and I think that's something too, is to not like belittle what is hard about being engaged and what is hard about getting married. There is also like a joy in the certainty of knowing that even though something is hard, like even at the end of it, that person is still gonna be there. I'm gonna sugarcoat my now. I'm so full, I don't want to eat for the next 17 days. That's very specific. By myself one time. My favorite cupcake was the coconut. It was chef's kiss. I might have like the lemon zest.
Oh, my least favorite was the red velvet. Did you have any questions that was gonna be the least favorite?
My least favorite was the chocolate, which is a surprise.
That is surprising!
I'm a chocolate girl. I need to guess what Cameron's wedding cake flavor will be.
That's true.
It's a secret.
Is making it. We said that already, but now you know again.
There's your rundown on Cameron's wedding preparation.
Everyone wanted to know.
Pray for us, but especially this bride-to-be and his fiance. We are praying for you, and we'll see you next Friday. Oh, tell me about your bachelorette party. We didn't talk about that at all. Are you doing a bachelorette party? No. Okay,
No.
there's that.
Are you gonna tell them about